that's nothing scares me more than this. I think if RFK Jr. wants to find the single best way to accomplish his end, which is, I think, to eliminate vaccines in this country, this is the way to do it.
If the vaccine compensation program goes away, then the the immediate impact seems to be, again, on the patient side. They're not going to have any sort of way to get any sort of award for any kind of
Less.
injury. Yeah.
They would have to find a lawyer that would take their case and go to the courts. There are probably a lot of petitioners that now go to the program for relatively small amounts that won't be able to find such a lawyer. For example, right now in the program, most of the cases are adult cases, not children cases, and a lot of those, though not all, are a SIRVA, shoulder injury from vaccine administration cases. Those cases may well be too small to find a lawyer that would take it to a court on contingency fee. So those people may end up not having compensation, uh, which, aside from the vaccine manufacturers, won't be good for trust in the system either. Remember, fast, generous compensation is not only the right thing to do, and it is the right thing to do, it's also increases trust in the vaccine system.
Mm.
Yeah, can I, the only
Just
thing can I just add one thing, Jeremy?
yeah.
Nothing scares me more than this. I mean, having lived through the 1980s, what I saw is that companies were perfectly willing to drop vaccines. They were. Generally, it's less than 10% of what they do. These are products that you give once or a few times in your lifetime. They're never going to compete with, drugs that you're given every day, like lipid lowering agents, et cetera. They were perfectly willing to abandon vaccines. And I think if we make it onerous enough, they would be willing to do it again. And that's nothing scares me more than this. I think if RFK Jr. wants to find the single best way to accomplish his end, which is, I think, to eliminate vaccines in this country, this is the way to do it.
What Paul is referring to, one of the things that happened in the 1980s is most of the claims in the 1980s actually lost in court, but the litigation costs were high enough that manufacturers were leaving the market. And for routine vaccine, the profit margin is just not high enough to justify continuing to litigate case after case, even if you win.